Hello, my little cherry blossoms. For today, I thought that I would explain some tasks to you. Because I thought that we could learn this for some learning. There's a lot of tasks that are very difficult, so I thought I would explain them to you, just so you can understand them easier. Okay? Good. Okay, the first thing I'm going to explain is how to count how many Q-tips you have. So, to do that, we're going to be counting our Q-tips so that we can figure out how many Q-tips we have. Just in case we want to know how many Q-tips we have, we can do that by counting the number of Q-tips. Now, I may have confused some people because I know some people call it cotton buds. Cotton buds. But other people call them Q-tips. Q-tips. But for sake of ease, I'm just going to call them Q-tips. But I mean cotton buds, because they're the same thing. So, when I say Q-tips, I mean cotton buds. And when I say cotton buds, I mean Q-tips. Because they both mean the same thing. Like Q-tips means cotton buds, and cotton buds means Q-tips. Although these aren't even really Q-tips because they're Spanish, so they're bastoncillos. But I'm not going to call them that. I'm going to call them Q-tips because I know them as Q-tips, so I'm going to call them Q-tips. But they're also cotton buds, or bastoncillos, apparently. So, to count the number of Q-tips, it's more complicated than it might seem because maybe you think we can just count them through the container because the container is see-through, so we can see the Q-tips or the cotton buds, so we could count them from here. But I always like to make sure, so I like to open the container first. Yeah, I like to take them out of the container to count them. And in order to take them out of the container, we need to open the container. Because you could count them from here. So you can see them if you look just there. You can see inside. You can even see me. Hello. So you can see the Q-tips, but just to be safe, I'm gonna take them out. So we are going to open her up. So to do that, it may seem a little bit tricky because as you can see, there's no latch or handle. It's just very smooth, 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 smooth. But if you look on this side, there's a little hinge. Do you see that? Just a little hinge, a little hinge, a little hinge, a little hinge. Do you see that? Good, 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 good. So we know we're going to be opening it on the other side, which also makes sense because that's where the words are. And that's just a handy tip for you, that the words are usually on the front of the container. Do you see how the words are on the front of the container? Because this is the front of the container, and this is where the words are. So the words are on the front of the container. Yeah. Although sometimes they can be tricky and put words on the back, like ingredients and little words that they don't actually want you to see, like secret words. The back is where the secret words are, but the front is where the big words are. So if you see big words, it's probably the front of the container. So now we have the front of our container, and we know that this is where we're going to be opening the container. So now we can start opening the container. So maybe you can see, if you look very closely at the container, there's a little lip. Do you hear that? Lip. So what I'm gonna do is take my nails and go underneath the lip, and I'm just going to pull up. Okay, I'm gonna pull the lid up in the upwards direction, because if you try to pull it down, it will just close it even more, and we don't want it to be closed, we want it to be open. So to open it, I'm going to put my nail in the little lip, and we're going to pull up on the lip, up on the lip. But you might notice there's a little plastic circle. It's a little tricky plastic circle, but it stops the lip from just going up. So at the same time, you also need to press in on the container. So you need to do two things at once, which can be very, very tricky, because one thing is already complicated, but now we have to do two things. But we're gonna take it nice and easy, nice and slow. Okay, so just like I said, we're gonna take one finger and press on the container, and then with the other finger, we're gonna pull up on the lid. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? We're going to press and pull up. Did you get that? Yeah, I'm gonna do it one more time just for you. So, both at the same time. First, we're gonna press on the container, and then we're gonna pull up. So press and pull up. Good. Look, we've opened the container. So we've completed step 1, which is opening the container, but now we need to count the Q-tips, or the cotton buds, or the pastillos. So I'm going to take them out of the container, because that makes it very easy to count. Okay, so to take them out, And then you can just put the container down. I could put it down over here, and that works. Or I could also put it down over here. That also works. Either locations is fine. Or a third location that we haven't disclosed, that's also fine. But now we have our Q-tips, 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 Q-tips. As you can see, we have our cotton buds, and I don't know if you know this, it's a little known fact, but the correct number of Q-tips to have is 10. Yep, exactly 10 is the correct number of Q-tips. So 9 is too little. 9 is too few Q-tips because 9 is a smaller number than 10, and 11 is too many Q-tips because unlike 9, 11 is bigger than 10, so it's too many Q-tips. Yeah. But 10 is the correct number because it comes in between 9 and 11. So it's 10 is the correct number. So we're going to make sure we have the correct number of Q-tips, which is 10, because 10 is the correct number of Q-tips. Yeah, perfect. So if you want to count along with me, and then we can double check. Are you okay with that? Thank you for helping. Well, okay, so we have number 1. This is the first Q-tip, which makes it number 1. Yeah, the first one. So this is number 1. And I'm going to put it from this hand, which is uncounted Q-tips, into this hand, which is counted Q-tips. Although that's a bit confusing for the first one, because there's no Q-tips before you've counted the first Q-tip, because you haven't counted any Q-tips yet. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, the first Q-tip. This is number 1. The first Q-tip. Perfect. Good. 1 Q-tip. Next, we have the second Q-tip, because this is the second Q-tip that we've counted, which makes it Q-tip number 2, or the second Q-tip. So we're going to take the second Q-tip and put it from the uncounted hand into the counted hand. So now we have 2 Q-tips. Next, we have the third Q-tip, because this is the third Q-tip that we've counted, which makes it number 3, or the third Q-tip. So we're going to take the third Q-tip, because we've counted it now, and put it from the uncounted hand into the counted hand. So again, we have Q-tip number 1, Q-tip number 2, and Q-tip number 3, because we have 3 Q-tips that have been counted. Perfect. Next, we have Q-tip number 4. Yeah, this one is the 4th Q-tip, because it's number 4. Does that make sense? So we're going to take the 4th Q-tip, which is Q-tip number 4, and we're going to put it from the uncounted hand into the counted hand. Yeah. Perfect. Now we have 4 Q-tips. Next is number 5. This one is the 5th Q-tip, because this is the one that comes after 4. It's also the one that comes before 6, but I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. So we're going to take this Q-tip number 5, which is the 5th Q-tip. 5th, 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 5th Q-tip, or Q-tip number 5, if that's easier. And put it into our counted hand. And so now we have 5 Q-tips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Q-tips. So at this point, because remember the number of Q-tips we're supposed to have is 10, since we have 5 Q-tips in this hand, we should also have 5 Q-tips in this hand, but we're going to count them just to make sure, because we want to be sure. Yeah, good. You're doing such a good job so far. I'm very proud of you. Yeah. So next, I was alluding to this one before, but this one is number 6. Like I said, it's the one that comes after 5. So that makes it the 6th Q-tip. 6th. Or Q-tip number 6. Or cotton bud number 6, if that's how you want to put it. So this one is going to be the 6th Q-tip that we put, and we're going to take it from over here where it's in the uncounted hand, and we're going to put it over here where it's in the counted hand, because now we've counted 6 Q-tips. Perfect. Next is Q-tip number 7, or the 7th Q-tip. 7th. Or Q-tip number 7. And the reason why this is Q-tip number 7 is because it came after Q-tip number 6, and 7 is after 6. So that's what makes this Q-tip number 7. But we're going to take this Q-tip number 7, or the 7th Q-tip, and we're going to take it from the uncounted hand and put it gently into the counted hand, because now we've counted 7 Q-tips. Okay, we're getting really close. We're getting up there. Are you excited? Yeah, perfect. Next, we have the 8th Q-tip. Do you want to know why this one is the 8th Q-tip? Do you have a guess? Yeah, good job, because it came after the 7th Q-tip, which makes it the 8th Q-tip, or Q-tip number 8. A little fun fact is 8 is my favorite number in Spanish, because it's ocho, and it sounds very different from the other numbers. So here we have the 8th Q-tip, or Q-tip number 8, or if you want to be really fancy, it's Q-tip ocho. So we're going to take the 8th Q-tip, and we're going to place it gently with the counted Q-tips. So now we have 8 counted Q-tips. Yeah, we're getting so close. We are so close, so close, so close, so close, so close. And you've been doing such a good job. I think that's why it's made this so easy. Okay, next we have Q-tip number 9, which can also be called the 9th Q-tip. 9th. Or Q-tip number 9, if that's easier. And this one is very, very special because it's the penultimate Q-tip. Yeah, penultimate means it's the one before the last one. And if you remember, the last Q-tip should be the 10th Q-tip, because the correct number of Q-tips is 10. And so therefore the number of Q-tips we should have should be 10. Exactly. You've got it right on the head. So, since this is the 9th Q-tip, that means it should be the penultimate Q-tip, which is a pretty fancy word. But we are going to take the penultimate Q-tip from our uncounted hand and put it into our counted hand. So now we should have one less Q-tip than we should end with. Does that make sense? Yes, you are so smart. You get this so easy. You're so good at this. You should count all my Q-tips. But finally, we have arrived at the last Q-tip. Or I guess you could call it the ultimate Q-tip, since remember this one was the penultimate Q-tip, but this one is the ultimate Q-tip because it is Q-tip number 10, or the 10th Q-tip, and we were counting to 10 Q-tips, which that means this is the last Q-tip because it's Q-tip number 10. So we are going to take Q-tip number 10 and we're going to place it into our counted hand where we now have 10 Q-tips. So we did have 10 Q-tips in this hand at the beginning, but now we have 10 Q-tips in the other hand, which we've counted. And so now, just as one final check, we're just going to check and make sure that the uncounted hand is empty. And if the uncounted hand is empty and we've counted to 10 Q-tips, that means that we have 10 Q-tips. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 Q-tips, because that's the number of Q-tips we counted, and so that's the number of Q-tips we have. And if you remember, the correct number of Q-tips to have is 10, which is why we were trying to count to 10 Q-tips. And because we have 10 Q-tips, that means we have the correct amount of Q-tips. Isn't that so exciting? Yeah, you did so good. Such a good job. Good. I am so proud of you. Yeah. And then just to finish up, very easy, we're going to take the container back from either this location or this location, wherever we placed our container. And we're going to put our Q-tips back into the container because we've counted them now and we know that we have 10 and we wanted to have 10 Q-tips. So now we have the correct number of Q-tips. So we're just going to place them back in the container, just nice and gently back into the container. Yeah. One important thing to note here, though, is that the container has to still be open, because if the container is closed and you try to put the Q-tips back inside, they don't go back inside. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because look, if the container is open, then the Q-tips can go back inside. But if it's closed and you try to put the Q-tips back inside, they don't go back inside. Which that would be a waste of all the time we spent counting the 10 Q-tips if we didn't then put them back in the container. Yeah, so again, we're just going to make sure the container is open, and we're going to take our 10 counted Q-tips and put them very gently back in the container. Yeah, perfect. And then we can just close the container because now we've counted our 10 Q-tips, and so we know we have 10 Q-tips, which is the number of Q-tips we wanted to have. Yeah, wasn't that so easy? Perfect. Well, thank you so much for helping me with that. You did such a good job. Such a good job. A very good job. A very, very good job. Good. Okay, we're going to move on to our second and final task. I know, You've been through a lot already, but you did such a good job with the first task that I thought you could handle a second task. So this task is going to be a little bit similar to the first task in that we're going to open a plastic bottle. Just a plastic container, which, if you remember, our previous task also had a plastic container. But if you notice, these are two different plastic containers. So this plastic container is probably going to be different to open than this plastic container. Yeah. But don't worry. I'm going to take you through step by step and you'll see it'll be just as easy. So, just like before, as you can see here, it has some big words like ts, 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 or z, 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 or z, 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 however you want to pronounce it. But as you can see, these words are big, so like we learned before, this is probably the front of the container because it has the big words. This one, unlike the other container, does have small words. Remember, I was talking about these earlier with the small words. So these are the secret words that they don't want you to know about, which is why they make them so small. See, you can barely read them. They're so small. It's a secret. But there's big words on the front that are much easier to read. But one thing that's a bit annoying is that the lid is on the top. So it doesn't even matter which side is the front side and which side is the back side. Sometimes it does matter, like in the last plastic container. But this plastic container doesn't matter. They're all the same because the lid is at the top. Yeah. So to open this container, just like the last container, we have to do two things at the same time. Because this is a child lock, which is more confusing than a regular lid. It looks like a regular lid, so most people would just want to unscrew it like a regular lid. But if you'll notice, if you try to screw, it just goes round and 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 round. It just keeps going round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And it doesn't actually come off, which is kind of annoying for a lid because most of the time when you have a lid and you want to open a container, you want to take it off because in order to get inside the container, it can't have a lid on, so it has to be off. But the trick to this one is that there's two steps. So you can see it has the number one, and number two. So number two is what we were just trying by going round and round and round. But there's a number one, which means that we skipped a step. So number one is really easy, and it's just pushing down on the lid. Yeah, so you don't want to pull up on the lid. That won't do anything. It'll just keep going round and round and round and round and round. What you want to do is push down on the lid. Yeah, sometimes it makes a click like that. Sometimes you can just feel some pressure. But either way, you want to push down on the lid. Okay, down, down, down. And at the same time as pushing down, that's when you'll turn the lid. Remember what we did before by going round and round and round and round? You want to do that, but as you're pressing down on the lid. Does that make sense? Yeah, so you have to do both at the same time. Yeah, you have to push it and then turn. You can't just press and then turn. You have to do both at the same time. Yeah, very confusing, but look, we'll do it together, okay? Yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is push down on the lid because that's step 1. So it's the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to push down on the lid, and then the next thing we're going to do is turn the lid because that's number 2, which makes it step 2. So we're going to push down on the lid and turn. And look at that. We opened the bottle. Isn't that very exciting? Yeah, so now if you wanted to, you could get the things inside of the bottle. Yeah, which is what the lid was for, so that we could open the bottle and get whatever was inside. Because if you'll notice, when the bottle is closed, I can't get the things inside the bottle. Yeah, it makes it very inconvenient if you want the things inside the bottle and the bottle is closed, because the bottle has to be open to get the things inside the bottle. Yeah, good. Does that make sense? Good, good, good. Okay, so again, very easy. Just step 1, we're going to press down on the lid because that's step number 1. And then at the same time, we're going to turn the lid because that's step number 2. So we're going to press down, which is step number 1, and then turn at the same time. And then the lid comes off of the bottle. And then we have an open bottle because a bottle can only be open if it doesn't have its lid on. Because if it has its lid on, it's considered closed, which is not open. And then you can get the little gummies inside, which are good for C's, Z's, C's, or Z's, Z's, Z's. Yeah, so how about you take one of these gummies and then you can have your Z's, 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 or your Z, Z, Z's. Perfect. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning and having some fun with me, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for your help today. You did so well. Yeah, you did so good. So good, 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 good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for your help. You did such a great job. I'm so proud of you. I'll see you next time. Bye.